Hello. Oh no. Hello. Oh, I see why it wasn't working. I wasn't connected to Discord. Well, I was muted on Discord. What's up, chat? Hello, how are you? I'm doing very good. I am being Jack of Cards. Um, Also, Dusty, for your for future reference, I usually like to leave the stream on a pre-stream for like 10 minutes or so. I feel like it gives enough chance for me to like prep up anything that I might want to do for the stream, give chance to anybody who wants to watch the stream but isn't, there first thing to join in and not feel like they're missing out on stuff, slash give my friends a chance to do stuff in case of having any co-hosts. So and I thought about putting like a timer on the pre-stream, but like then I feel like I would have to commit to that timer and whatever. By the way, here's the lizard. It's a lizard on I got a lizard's got a Yoshi now. Uh, from the Monster Hunter Wilds collab, which I did do yesterday. So I know I said I was gonna probably play some Pokemon Fusion, but Gabe put this fun idea in my mind, and then he disappeared about playing Metroid, because Metroid. So I'm gonna load up. What else but another run of Metroid Fusion? Hold on. Tom, ¿me puedes pasar mi agua? All right. In this leaked footage here, we see Leisure my wife prepare to go and embark on a journey through the desert dunes in Recollection Volume 2. My wife, yes. Croco says is my wife in the background. Sorry, I've cracked up. Oh, you just alert. I just read your comment, Dusty's lizard tomboyant on the burp. Yes, that is the burp from Monster Hunter World. They put a new flagship monster in Monster Hunter World. Arkveld. I don't really know his name, but yeah, he tried to fuck with the lizard. Yeah, I'm good. I just I was trying to I was drinking water and then I read the joke and I got sort of like they can't say tomboy without the bits. I think they might have heard you say that in general. Huh? Yeah, but I feel like that one might have been just in the perfect range while I wasn't saying anything. Yeah, it is true, but I don't think they heard you. Now that I'm thinking about it, Croco said that they can only call the lizard tomboy if they pay the tax. That's the tax. The tax money is used to pay for more lizard. They are transparent. Uh, which is more spooky, Dread or Fusion? I think, in my opinion, I think Fusion is spookier. But I think that honestly, they're both like almost equally spoopy. I just think that the maybe Fusion has more of the angle and the type of spooky I like more than Dread's. But I Dread sort of like spin and takes on its own horror with between the Emmys, Ravenbeak's plans, and the Chozo and all that other stuff. Were also super cool. So I think that that's the case. Oh look, two lizards. Shame Gabe didn't join for the picture. We're doing the Monster Hunter event yesterday. And yes, there's a little palico. There's even a hole making the steak bit. All right. I have to say, lizard tomboyant. Yes. According that's the Croco decree. I don't make the rules. He does. All right. I'm loading up the game. Gate might be here. I'm not really sure. Game. Do I gotta? Oh. Oh. So spooky. Very loud. Alright. Oh, so spooky. I miss my wife, Dorfion. Croco, you have to see all the bits that they're doing now to get around the tax. It's too silly.
No.
Croco just like, God damn it. Alright. No Pikmin has humans? What do you mean? I always thought that they had humans. Like, there was... You're literally in, like, a living room in Pikmin 4 that seems like... It felt like people lived there. What, is there new Pikmin stuff? Has there been more news on Prime 4 lately? No, I don't think so, but I just want to talk about the game in general. But no, there hasn't really been like a general news update. I am in the bus where I feel like I am not gonna watch more of the game until the game is actually out. No, this is not a ROM hack. We're just playing the Japanese version because this is usually the one I replay when I'm in playing on my Game Boy, and it's got the different difficulty modes. So I just kind of wanted to showcase it. If this were not 100%, but a completed save file, I could just press start here, and it would immediately skip the entire intro. Which I don't know why the US version doesn't have it. Neither does Dread. And I feel like I would love having it in general. The short with the baby? What? What short? I don't know what short. I'm expecting news in the next 3 weeks. Yeah, no, definitely there might be news, like, for sure. They'll probably make some video or something more updates, but no, Mewtwo, you can't say it. You gotta pay the tax. 1 bit. That's all we ask. All bits together allow us to pay for more lizard, and thus the joke keeps going. Cause then imagine, I can't take more pictures. What are you gonna do? I run out of pictures. But, yeah, I think there's gonna be news in 3 weeks, definitely, for sure. I might not watch it, because I just want to stay in the dark. Like, I kind of wish I had bought Dread, or that they had released Dread without... Is she from New York? The sewers? What? What's the joke? Thank you for bit, but what joke? Real bit, trust me. Oh, I love a bit. I live for a bit. But yeah, I don't want to see it because I kind of wish, like, when Dread came out, that either they didn't show, or at least I didn't know Ravenbeak, so, like, that intro and all that stuff was crazy. Because I feel like, in hindsight, knowing about Ravenbeak kind of took away the excitement behind the Emmy and stuff like that. But that's just, like, in me. That's just, like, my opinion. The Leeser people? No, she lives in Eorzea. Or, well, not Eorzea, Shirogane. That's in Ulthar. That's a different continent. 14. Hold on. Do you think a Metroid Prime is possible? Yeah, I don't see why. I don't see why not. I want to imagine that, like, in the same way there's a Metroid Prime. And no matter like if you are more of the train where you like the idea more of Metroid Prime sort of being like, all right, that's what the Chozo called it, because in their language, Metroid means Ultimate Warrior. So Metroid Prime, it's kind of like the apex, which is kind of what they were trying to imply with the scan logs. And then they changed it so that it's, I guess, a literal Metroid. I gotta brush up on my lore. But I feel like in either situation, yeah, there could be something like a Metroid Prime, maybe. Assuming they could survive the Phazon symbiosis, you know? The Amiibo and art book dates are weird as fuck. Yeah, I know. I think they're definitely weird that they're not coming out together at the same time. Not so much the art book, because the art book is supposed to be like between Metroid Primes 1 through 3. And it was, I think, originally scheduled to come out in June, and then it got delayed until Jocktober, which, hey, what a time to have a spoopy Metroid Prime art book than Spooktober. But it's only between Metroid Primes 1 through 3, so I feel like, alright, release that now so that the crowd, like, who we might not have a way to play trilogy on, like, current hardware, I guess. Legitimately, I guess. But like there, you reminisce the nostalgia, and then I guess they only releasing the amiibos at different dates is just because I guess they're definitely putting like a secret thing on behind Silex, and they just don't want that to be out or whatever early or accessed, and for it to come out with a game. But I think it's just mostly because like, all right, they're already releasing the Kirby amiibos and all these other amiibos, so like, logistically speaking, they're, as a company, you know, they're already like having these trucks shipping products, and those cost money. So why not get on the Prime 4 hype wagon by also putting the amiibos out for sale? So maybe when the game comes out, they can do like a second run. You know, it's sort of like already it's already out on the 21st. Scalpers will try, but we'll also put them back on sale whenever the Silex one comes out, type of stuff. I don't know. About 10 seconds lax between messages. Ooh, alright. Reptilian? No, but Leeser... Leeser's just Leeser. It's not like a New York reptilian. That's different. Wait, where am I going? This is what I get for reading chat. Yeah, blame it on chat. Metroid Prime is a parody game, or is an actual false Metroid in Prime form? I assume that more is the latter. Trailer 2 did have a lot of spoilers, but oh yeah, for Dread, yeah, Dread. If what you mean by Dread, then yeah, maybe, possibly. And that's kind of like, all right. I feel like now that I have knowledge that there's the Viola, like, I'll at least try my best to not be so up to date with all the news, so that anything else that I don't see just happens to be a surprise. I know that, like, at the end of the day, I might see something, giving the channel, giving the brain rots and algorithms and social medias and stuff like that. But if it's through that, then, like, it's different. It's not like I went out on my way to see the direct. It's just like, oh, maybe this showed up on my feed. Metroid Fusion question, why are we playing the Japanese version? Is it for speedrunning purposes? I think that actually the English version is faster than the Japanese. I'm not sure, at least back in the day when I used to speedrun this, the English version was like the one that was normalized, but I don't know. I just feel like it. It's got the alternate endings as well that go with the Metroid manga, so I thought it might be fun for like this Metroid Fusion run. That at least the ending reward is different. You'll get the special screens. Also in the Japanese version, like I think that some of it's I don't know. I just think it's cool. There's a few cutscenes here and there that are shorter. Oh, it's Samus and her dirt bike. Cool ass dirt bike. I love all the little details they're putting in. Blame me, blame. I don't know what you're typing there. T, mother brain, Y? What is this code? Dude, they're speaking in code now. I think we will see some shocking concept art. Nintendo, especially for Splatoon, does not censor art books, be it nudity, gore, or any violence. Yeah, that's why I'm excited for it. I love the Metroid Prime. How's it going? Oh, it's going great. How about you, cartographer? Still love that sweet mother brain for Prime 3 concept art. Oh, dude, I can't wait. There's these also concept arts of like what would have been sort of like Dark Samus final fight, where she's kind of like using Phazon to like build herself like a giant avatar body that didn't make it into the final game, that I would love to see more details about. The art of those games is just, I think, way too pretty for it to take this long to get an art book. Looking at Federation Force ending, it seemed to be a Talvanian Metroid Silex is using, and not Mocktroids pointed out by Tora on Discord. Yeah, that I could see that. I just mentioned that, like, in my book it could be anything, because like the Metroids change in appearance very drastically between games. So like I felt that, like, in the same way that, you know, Talon Metroids are red, that this could be that, but it could also just be a Mocktroid. And the fact that they can only recreate, so it's not so that, like, yes, the original Metroid could be from Talvania, but what if Silex trying to, like, I don't know, regrow their numbers and clone them using what the pirates remember from their days with Mother Brain? The only thing they can produce is, without Mother Brain, the only thing they can produce are Mocktroids, which kind of get the job done, but they're not as good. But they need to keep, so they're not literally bringing in the original Metroid, which is their one source of supply, to recreate them, but maybe they genetically created a whole new strand, giving from what we see with the first boss in the tutorial area. But then again, why blame when recollection? Or I see what you're saying. You've been practicing Chisodian language? Oh, it's that so cool. I gotta freshen up on it. I kind of sad to admit I've forgotten a little bit. Tora also point out Prime 4 might take place after Super Metroid, comparing the years. It's really cool. Yeah, no, I mentioned the same in my video back in the original trailer, because Super Metroid takes place in the cosmic year 2000 X5. It's in their Japanese manual and advertisements. My buddy Deadweight, who is a member of Shine Sparkers, I seem to recall having a chit chat with him where he said that in some piece of Samus's Returns promos, they also confirmed that being sort of around 2000 X5. So like definitely could be, it's gonna be after Super Metroid, which is why I was trying to say about the Mocktroids, because without Mother Brain they can't really copy maybe Metroid successfully. That's why it's so exciting. It's like it could literally be anything, you know? It's like I'm gonna miss these days where it's like the potential for the game, you know, is still like endless with how little they've hinted, but can't wait for those Rundas in a bikini concept arts. I was waiting more on gore. Just in time. I do want to see the Gendrita concept arts because she's always been one of my favorite characters. She used to be my favorite character until Quiet Robe entered the scene, but I feel like that's cheating because of like the bird bias. I hope Prime 2 and 3 on Switch soon. Me too, but I kind of hope that they do the remasters though. And like with the fact that they're taking so long on either announcing, not like they haven't really announced like, oh, here's Prime's 1 and 2 in the same vein as Pikmin's 1 and 2, and now Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 $70, $80 bundles or whatever. That they maybe saw the sales of Prime Remaster, which are incredible for a game that was just shadow dropped out of nowhere with no marketing. And they decided to just instead run with remastering those games. And that's the case, you know, those might take time. Prioritize Prime 4 to come out. Then you can have the team, while they make something else, make these two, or something along those lines. Am I the one playing right now? Yes, this is me. Hello. Little dance. Shoot, 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 shoot. Yes. Shoot. I hope we get more Space Pirate jokes lore. Feeding Metroid some morph balls and stuff. Oh, if we don't get, like, those joke pirate lores, I will riot. It's not a true Prime game. They're even in Corruption, you know? Where, like, it's at its direst, most realist, taking itself the most seriously, you know? Here's where confuses it. Tanabe, for Fed Force, made the error to make Force happen between Metroid 2 and Super Metroid. But it's impossible. He made that error multiple times. Okay, maybe you might have to refresh, freshen up my memory. This is part of the reason I'm also excited for the art book, is because there might be an update to how things in the timeline work. Now that Prime 4 is out, Dread is out, and I feel like that's why hopefully there's something there that just confirms how it is and all this other stuff. But until that moment, the way I had it interpreted. Why you play baby games? Why you no shoot? Why you no shoot? Why you just play baby games? $60 roster upgrade. I do have a Vinny Vinesauce and Vinny Joel cosplay on my lizard for this spooky season. I gotta take screenshots off. But what I was gonna say real quick is that the way I'm seeing the last time I checked is that so the Federation Force takes place some moments after, like, sometime before Corruption, but undisclosed of sorts if it's before or after say Metroid 2. Well, I can't fight the boss and get my train of thought going at the same time. So yeah, I assume that it was like after 3, but maybe before Metroid 2. Like, from what I remember how I played the game, you know, and I load up the title screen and all this other stuff, is that it takes place sort of some time after Corruption, and the Federation Force are sort of in a cleanup duty against some rogue pirate forces. Not much unlike what happened with the frigate Orpheon and the whole Sevas incident, where there was ships and the pirates were trying to, like, run away and stuff like that. And then, you know, time passes. Metroid 2, Super Metroid, and then we get to Prime 4. But I guess that given what we know about Prime 4 now, that they might just, I don't know, retcon that out of Federation Force and make that game take place some time after. But in either case, it doesn't really change much in the grand scheme of things, right? If you think about it. Aside from, I guess, Sam is having her Prime 3 gunship or in Prime outfit, but that's just cosmetics. Remember getting Switch Online playing this? Oh, this is probably my favorite game with Echoes. I know I say it all the time, but for sure. Like, I distinctly remember having to fight Box where we were having a road trip. And we just had to stop for gas, so I wouldn't get motion sick. So I tried beating the boss real quick and putting the system to sleep. Because, like, as a kid, I really struggled with the bosses. So whenever I had a good run, but I had to go do something else, you know, I was happy that I was able to just put the system to sleep at least. Where does it say the Prime 4 takes place in X9? The trailer said X7, and then the Super Metroid says X5 on the manual. And also on the commercials for it. I can look it up. I have the clips. Where do I get the little icons in your videos? Oh, the chibis? Those are actual custom commissions. Shout outs to Kubaushi, who's the guy that I make the drawings with. So I commission him and he makes the little chibis and expressions and stuff for the channel. We fusing today? Yes, we are, Midnight, and thanks for the sub. How is it that you show up right at the moment of the character that you hate so much, but you happen to voice? Ah. The Zero Mission manga seems very outdated at this point. It needs a redo again. I agree. But at the same time, I blame, and I hate saying this, but I kind of blame Other M more for it, because at least back in those days, and the reason I was sort of like with the story, but I don't hate the game. It's more that like I thought that was what that game was trying to set out to do. Re-updating the whole, at least 2D Metroid lore and all this other stuff, but you know, then we got was a sort of its own pocket adventure. Based on what the advertisement for the game, I was sort of like thinking it was that, but yeah, I do think like in general there needs to be an update. That's kind of why I've been the one to sort of ask for instead just a brand new start of sorts, or going back to a point where the continuity doesn't matter that much. Which, granted, when you play the games themselves, you don't really need the context of anything else outside of it. Also, this is a funny coincidence because I was playing Metroid Fusion a while ago to take notes of sequences so that I could copy the scenarios for the script. Yeah, I mean, I think that at this point, a lot of the things that I'm doing are just like hardwired Fusion love letters. Can I translate what it says on the screen? Yes, it's Adam confirming that the parasites are very much intoxicating the air. So Samus has to go and clean the ducts and by eliminating all the chats. I should have looked for a Spanish mod. Because at least I could read that, and we could just do, I could have done the bits in Spanish. Maybe next stream. Like, Fusion I can just really start at any point. I consider it the background video while I'll talk to you guys. Until you ask for big lore or questions that require a train of thought, and then my brain stops working. Lore. Yes, I've removed all of those because I gotta update them to use, which reminds me, I gotta get back in the habit. StreamerBot. Because with StreamerBot, it just pulls up a notification that also allows you guys to alter more things in the stream in general, which are the things I was developing, or planning, or trying to implement. Yes, Midnight Lore. Will Metroid finally crawl in Prime 4? That's the real question. Asking the real questions. Yeah, it's crazy. Metroid's 39. Crap. Chat, do you think they'll actually do something for the 40th anniversary? Given the track record of how Mario went from having like an actual thing to just kind of whatever, I doubt it, but Metroid Prime fully remastered trilogy. Turning on those fans because it seems like Tomboy in here. Thanks for the bit. Or baby. Which baby? I want to hope, but realistically I don't think so. Yeah, me neither. The Fusion rip-off script for the demo build for testing the gameplay, system, and mechanics I want to add or work out. Yeah, same here. I'm just trying to reverse engineer Fusion. Or at least like the things I like for Fusion and why. And then see if the ideas I had or little twists work for it. I'm trying to see what chibi I would have that is baby. Oh my gosh, there it is. You meant that baby. There it is. No, yeah, I had forgot to leave streamer bot on. Because now what I'm trying to make it do is that when you assigned some animations to some sound effects. So I kind of wanted to have like the little baby Metroid and stuff show up if you like play the little baby. But I'll put it there. We'll have the tiny Metroid. I don't think they care as much as I'd like to see a Samus Returns port or something cool come to Switch for an anniversary, but I don't really seem to do much. Samus Returns on the Switch would be pretty cool. Would be really exciting. I don't know why they put Luigi's Mansion 2 and not like Link Between Worlds or the Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time games that I think would just those people would certainly drop $60 for those, given how they dropped it for Skyward Sword and all these other stuff. Do you think you can stack beams in prime form, or pick which ones to keep on and off? I think we're going back to beam swapping. There was in the trailer with a bike, you kind of saw some beam swiping cross, or at least with like a between missiles and some alt weapon. But you also have the psychic abilities, which I don't know how those work, but given how it seems to be an ammo of its own, I'm guessing it probably would be something closer to Echoes, which is exciting because in that way, it sort of puts a limit on your arsenal, makes you pick and choose your battles a little bit more, bring back some of that survival aspect of being stuck on the planet and all this other stuff. I know that there's definitely still a crowd who don't do it. Are you trying to stream Prime Hunters on the DS? Yes, we actually did stream Hunters for the Hunters video. I loaded up this thing called the Wii U, and I played it there, so that way I could say I was playing it for reals, and I just wanted to play it on the Wii U for old time's sakes. Beam swap. Also, very quick update from sending on and on screen. Sweet. Like, I think I see it on chat as soon as you guys might type it, but it shows up later on stream. So I'm just trying to read it mostly as it comes on stream, but I don't think so anymore. 2-second lag. Ah, sweet, that's better. Samus Returns already had higher quality models. Guessing they're finishing up those can get Switch release. They might even have a dread counters while moving to improve the game. I could see that. I could definitely see that be the case. Also, it wouldn't be strange for them to make higher quality models for a 2D, like for a DS. Not necessarily for future proofing, but because sometimes it's just easier to like demake a model if you already have the higher res version of it. Better than earlier. Crazy that MS has all, and I mean all models in higher poly for Samus Returns. Oh, Mercury Steam. Yeah, it is crazy. I mean, it shows there's that level of professionalism that they were trying to stay true to the art style, I guess. Which their art team, the Metroid Dread art book is just so pretty that I wish I had a full version of it. Because I need to see like those Metroid suit concepts and all this other stuff. I think they've made my favorite version of the Zero Zoo and stuff like that. that I would love to see a full-on art book. But like, I think that they definitely might have been like, all right, let's try and match the higher res full art version of our things, and then what you call it, and then we'll just demake those, if so to speak, to make them fit onto the DS quality and all. Just dropping here in case nuked the link. Oh, Metroid Prime Federation Force Amiibo Backlash timeline story. All right, I'm gonna open it up because I'm definitely curious just for the brain rot. This is from 2015. All right. I'll read it up later. Kind of want to play at the moment. What if Nintendo did a virtual DS 3DS emulator that had Prime Hunters, Federation Force, Samus Returns, or other 3DS games like Kid Icarus? I mean, I think that if they added that to the Switch Online expansion pass, then I would say that the subscription service is starting to become way more worth the price of admission. Assuming that they put games at a considerable speed, because like, how long has it been since they added GameCube games on Switch 2, and there's still like only, or as far as I know, been no updates to it, or fixing the emulation on the game itself, because like games like F-Zero GX really need that precision, and you can't quite get it with a lag on that, or so I've heard. Not that I can say from experience. I don't have the system myself. But I think that would definitely give it more value, but I also cannot see it happening and Nintendo not making another expansion pass tier list, like tier above it, that costs like $70 a year. Especially given the fact that like, Xbox Game Pass increased its price. Yeah, they did the Galaxy remasters, but how much are they charging for? Like, I feel that for the money that they're charging and the celebration of the anniversary, you could have at least, like, I don't know, given the Metroid Prime remaster treatment and price. After Virtual Boy DS is guaranteed, I mean, I think so for sure. It's only a matter of time. The Switch 2 has a bigger screen. To find ways to squeeze in the two 4x3 screens of the DS. Also, want to know a secret about a new Pokemon game? Yeah. This is why bothers my brothers, sisters-in-law, and all I share a family pass. Yeah, same here. But like at the same time, I still think that the general amount of like bang for your buck value is on the lower side, because like there's still the Splatoon 3 Season Pass DLC that's not on there. The Smash DLC is not on there. The Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC is not on there. There's index data for 3 new Mega Legendary Pokemon. Oh. So far there's Mega Mewtwo, Mega Rayquaza, and now 3 more. It's gonna be Mega Yveltal, Mega Xerneas, and Mega Zygarde, isn't it? Mega Zygarde Ultra Complete form. I'm hoping they remake Hunters at some point, for sure. Whenever I see like people asking or talking whether like, you know, Fusion or Zero Mission or Super get a remake, I'm like, no. I want Hunters. That game had a lot of ideas, but like not the systems and resources to execute those. Darkrai is one? No way. No way. Do we know how it looks? I want to see my Spoopo friend. Heatran and Zera. Who is Zera? Mewtwo, I need to see this. You don't understand. It's just index data. Oh, I thought that we knew how it looked. Zeraoroa. Who in the fuck is Zeraoroa? Oh my goodness. Where is this from? Sun and Moon? Wow. I played those. Alright. No models, just index data. Okay. We don't know that the sign, just that it exists. Alright, well, when we know, please let me know, because Darkrai is my favorite. Like, I feel if I had a little Pokemon partner right now with me, would be either Ghost Friend or Darkrai. Not Zizor. We're gonna get Prime 2 fans, just need to start their own Project Moonfall. They need to demand it from Nintendo to do it. I don't think they have to. The numbers for Prime 1, the sale numbers for Prime 1, I think should be enough. That you can definitely make a business out of it. I mean, I do like Shayna's Zeraora colors. I just want my rats and my flower dino. My ghost friend is Duskull. I always liked him as a kid. He was one of my first shinies as well. That was the first time I did the whole like press B on the evolution because I didn't like Dusclops as much as I like Duskull. And I just liked a red shiny Duskull. So like I kept him as my little buddy. Let's see some classic elevators in Metroid 6. At least Dread has some before Ravenbeak. Dread had some elevators though. Alright, Orpheon, have you checked any of the current Zesty episodes? Yes, I'm up to date with the show. So far, I'm really enjoying it. I don't know how much am I enjoying it because I'm not too much of a fan of like mission by mission episode type of stuff. I do like the vibe. I do like the suit. I like the English in it. There's a lot of things that I like, but I don't think I've seen enough to know how much I really like the show or how invested I feel like on it. Because I feel like I've watched 6 episodes but haven't gotten much of reasons to be further invested on the characters. Like, I like to think of Build as my favorite one. And part of it is because they found ways to put Banjo and Sento in this sort of journey that neither of them wanted or neither of them really were picking. But they also managed to, by the 3rd episode or so, sprinkle enough hidden lore between Night Rogue and the hazard tests and stuff to keep your interest going that I'm just waiting to see that part take more shape in Zesty. Like right now I feel like it's just the guy still figuring out stuff. So like but I do like the fact that they're kind of like letting it breathe, you know? Akiwara hates Metroid? Well, dude, alright. That like it's a free world, but shame. Cause I think it's so cool. Which area are you excited to explore for Prime 2 Remaster? I want to see Agon Waste. I think Agon didn't look the best in the remastering. Could be great. Okay, yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I think that I'd be more excited from that perspective for Agon Wastes. For just seeing the vibe Torvus Bog, because I think that's just my favorite area in Metroid. And when it rains over here, really feel like it gets really flooded and stuff, and there's the palm trees and whatever, so it really feels like Corvus. And I'm in love with the place. This is unfortunate news. Oh yeah, that they hate Metroids. What Metroid games have you not played? No. Oh, none of them? I've really played in 100%ed basically all of them. Even did the 15% hard mode run on Zero Mission. Oops, I forgot a missile expansion. Well, ain't that a pickle? Hold on. Can I rewind on this? Oh yeah, I can. Oh, it's not enabled. All right, whatever. It's not 100% run anymore. Have you played X Fusion? Yeah, I actually finished it not too long ago. I really enjoyed it. I think it's definitely some of the best like fan projects I've seen in general. And there's a lot of cool ideas, but at the same time, I wasn't too much of a fan of like the difficulty Kaizo-esque spikes and stuff like that. And that's just more from like a metal personal opinion, but I really enjoyed it. I did it on, I did it on normal mode. I did check out like Omega mode a little bit and stuff like that. Maybe I will go back at some point later and play that again. Give it a second playthrough. Because I know there's like more like lore and or mechanics and or sequence breaks, and I think that just as a general fan of the genre, I would like to check it out. Yeah, you can wall jump back up. But I don't need to. Gosh, I'm just thinking about Mega Dark Bar. We fall! Still personally feel like the mainline Metroid and Metroid 2 really are different. Isn't mainline Metroid 2D Metroid? Look, it's Zazabi. I don't... Prime and mainline. Yeah, I see what you mean. I think of it in the same way. Where they're like two different concepts of the same story. I just like the fact that they're sort of intertwined in different ways. But I don't take the intertwinedness as literally as some people in the community sometimes. If I get many videos, photos with some Moses voice actor tomorrow, I'll let you know. Oh my gosh, Midnight, please. If you could get a bit, I would be forever grateful. It can be whatever bit. Just don't make it the baby. Is it Jessica Martin or Caitlin Glass? No, wait, Caitlin Glass is Omen. I'm always got the Omen. Oh boy. Jennifer Hale. No, yeah, I should have guessed. She's also female Shepherd, and Naomi in Metal Gear 4. We just have the data that's in. Probably will be added later with DLC. Jeez. Mega Lati, we in X and Y, but we're only incomplete files that were finished in ORAS. Oh, yeah. They have the entire Metal Gear cast? No. What do you mean by the entire Metal Gear cast? What do you mean? Which Metal Gear? Colonel. We've managed to avoid drowning. You can't just come in here and spark the Kojima brain rot. I get there are canon to each other, but they feel like really different universes, especially Fusion and Dread feel so far away from Prime 1 three's atmosphere, musical styles, and themes. I see what you mean. The way I was saying it is more like thematically intertwined, because you can also see it as the different types of cosmic horrors that are kind of like in the same level of Doomsday from either side perspective. They just take different aspects to it. So I kind of like the idea that they're both parallels and intertwined with each other. That's what makes them feel like Metroid games, that the little lores just help sell like a bigger universe, and like these are chapters in Samus's bigger career or whatever, you know, rather than the literal, oh, they're all connected. They must be. Invisible brain rot? What do you mean? You have the names? You might have to just tell me who they are in the game, because I can remember a lot of them from the top of my head, but there's, you know, the main guys and stuff like that, but I think it's just the easiest for chat in general. So chat, how do you reckon the SAX looks under the suit? Do you even reckon that she can take the suit off? The Duran Duran songs. Snake and Sniper Wolf. David Hayter or Keith or Sutherland? Alright, Midnight, if you want to do me some extra solids. I am also Sniper Wolf and David Hayter would also like implode. Hold on. Croco. I gotta go tell him. Midnight is going to meet David. It might be in the same convention as David Hayter.
Oh, David Hayter. I thought they... Cool.
It's just him going, oh, fuck off, because he thought it was David Tennant. To me saying Hayter, it's like, oh, sweet. Metal Gear.
Looking good.
Huh?
Looking good.
Looking good, Joker.
Looking good, Joker.
Gosh. Meryl. Colonel?
Colonel.
Oh my gosh. I mean, Tennant was there a year or two ago. And now he left. Now he left.
In resignation.
In resignation. You know, it's not Picaldi, you know, but so yeah, Capaldi, Picaldi.
It always happens.
It always happens. That's why he'll be Picaldi in my hat forever. Rated, squeeze my heart.
Red. Squeeze my heart.
Gosh, now I want to put this little snake figma
Yeah.
hanging over there.
Next one. The next one.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, Midnight, it's if you can, if you have the time and all this other stuff. If you can't, it's fine. I'm just a big fan of all of them. You know, I love Metal Gear. Probably flesh fused with suit materials. Isn't the power suit also made of organic matter? Yeah, it's got some form of organic matter. And I think a lot of it has to do with like the Zero suit itself, you know. Or like that's the vínculo, the link between one and the other. Oh my gosh, spooky music. Yeah, I'll see where we are / where we end up being. Look, if you have to pick and choose, obviously I would like either take Samosa because Samosa, or and that the brain rot goes that deep, or David Hayter. Because like the problem with Jennifer Hale is like, you know, she didn't really voice much of Samosa, but she still is Samosa. That's all that matters in my book. Reposting, I think it's like glued to her with some slime kind of sludge thing. Yeah, I could also see that. I always imagine it like the core of it is sort of like holding the suit pieces in place. And if you were like sort of like there's like already a monster like that. I guess mimics? I'm not sure. Like they it has to use the suit, but it maybe doesn't have like a full on copy. It's more of like like a blob. I don't know. With Dan Samosa, I just imagined that like that's just pure goop, for sure. Take off the helmet and there's just nothing there. It's just goop. Thanks for the repost, by the way, Mewtwo. Sorry I didn't read it earlier. Listen, all I know is that I have images of Samus at the table. Okay, then can you grab one of me for me, please? I'll bring you 3 stickers next time I go visit your neck of the woods. I really appreciate it. Wait, Jennifer Hale's the VA for Samus in the Prime series? Correct, chat. Yeah, if she has the extra at the table. Ideally, I would have, like, given you one of my Metroid Prime prints, but... it's fine. I just want to be able to put it next to the Elma one the collector got me. Am I playing on Switch? No. Because I think that if I wanted to play this version on Switch, I would have to have a Japanese account on my Switch that has Switch Online. Right? There's nothing about Prime 4 that says whether or not Jennifer Hale is voicing Samus. In fact, there is no news that I know about any voice acting. Or cast of voice acting. There is voice acting. The Federation, we hear Federation Trooper literally talk to Samus like in Prime 3. You just need a Japanese account. So, cause like, alright, I have a Nintendo Switch Online on like my Orpheon account. If I made a Japanese Switch account, can I still log to Switch Online even though through that account to get the Japanese version? Even though in theory it's not subscribed? On Switch One? Samus has so many different voices. Let my girl speaks when she needs. Yeah, when she needs. I'm a bit happy and kind of surprised from voice acting in Prime 4. I think at this point I'm not anymore, just because like I feel like after Dread and what do you call it, Prime 3, it's kind of like expected. Even Zelda they're doing some voice acting at the moment. Time to fuck around and find out. You download GBA NSO via the Japanese eShop and play with a Western version. Only Famicom cannot be downloaded. Okay, I'm assuming it's probably because there's some Famicom games that have like strict copyrights. Oh my gosh. forgot how loud this guy is. I see your comment, Midnight. I'll reply in a second. It's like I know that you enjoy the narrations and stuff, and I'm with you in some part of that camp. But I just feel that like a character like John Samosa and all this other stuff, actions. It's more of an actions speak louder than words. That like. If she had more body language moments in Other M to circumvent or balance it out, it would have been perfect. And I feel that part of the reason that, oh my gosh, she spoke in Dread is so powerful is just because, you know, she only chooses to speak there. Even, which is kind of the same that happened like in Fusion. It's kind of like the same that I guess would, well, that's it, for real. So like I don't mind if she's got like to speak up or say something here and there. Like there's many scenarios I can think of. Yeah, I like her being expressive, but I don't think that like in a book you can use those words for like to express those things, but when it's like a visual medium, a lot of it has to be carried by the facial and body language performance, you know? And I feel like it was there, but it could have been pushed further. Is why I say that like Other M works better as a book type of stuff or stage play. Which is what Nier did with those type of stories rather than put them or make them into the game. Because the story would just better cater for it. Just to be sure, this isn't the same serpent in Super Metroid, right? There's no serpent in Super Metroid. Oh, I mean, oh, okay, no, never mind. There is a serpent when you head to Meridia, but no, it's not. I love how Extrusion did series. I was okay by it. I think that from the bosses, it was in returning bosses. It was the one that don't really remember much the gimmick compared to others. Oh, you mean in the exploration? Then yeah, that was cool. I think I would have enjoyed it a little bit more if like, and this is not to say, but like for more like for a future second or whatever other game. If with that, it's like you have to traverse it the first time. So that way when you have to go through it the second time and you kind of expect how the layout and all that stuff is, you can then see the change through the destruction of series. Which is, I guess, kind of what Fusion does with when Box shows up, you know? Like, I just think that if I knew how the layout was supposed to be, and then it forces me to adapt again. Because series is destroying it. That you could have gotten a lot of mileage out of that area. Maybe add something else in there. Yeah, Meridia. I think that AM2R had series. Yeah, AM2R also had a series boss fight. Sweet, I like to see those updates. I know that I never went into the Discord to give my feedback or whatever. Maybe I'll do that after this, but I just like... I kind of hope that some of the like remarks or comments I was saying also get implemented, because I think it would just help with bringing a general crowd more into the game. But at the same time, if I'm trying to avoid Nintendo ninjas and stuff like that. Kinda miss the reason Kaizo not Kaizo ROM's music. Yeah, me too. Aside from the 16-second track, oh my gosh. Bullshit laboratory. That's probably my favorite shit post. Building shitty labs, that also works. Yes, as you can see, the X are here. Security door level 2, SAX. Data room for super missiles. I keep an eye open for something. Beware of heavy heat rooms. Level 2 hatches somewhere. You gotta find them like the level 1 hatches. Is your any objections, lady? This game has soundtrack loops after 2 minutes, 2 out of 10 game. Nightmare Another M sucks. Yeah, I think like they could have done a way better mechanics for it being Nightmare, you know? What's the difference between the battleship and the BSL station? Well, I think it's the type of like if I were to use a parallel to explain it, I've always seen it as different starship, like in Star Trek, where they have the different starships. There's the Enterprise and so many others, you know? So they're all from like, they're different starships, but they're built for different type of experimentations and space research and along those lines, using different models or different structures to like conduct different type of experiments. So like the main difference is, I guess, where the planets were also orbiting and where in the timeline, I guess, because there's also the Ceres space colony. So it's sort of implied that there's a lot of at least Federation people who, I guess in a Star Trek manner, so to speak, travel the stars to study and learn about the different planets and stuff while doing whatever patrol work they can do. That's how they stumble onto the Metroids to begin with on when they arrive on planet SR3D8. So I guess the main general gist of the difference is the quadrants or placements that each one travels, and whether or not they can travel large distances in space or just like serve as a hub that orbits around a different planet or something along those lines. But that's kind of it. They're both Federation research facilities. The other main differences would be more like along the lines of, well, that was an unfortunate jump. what happens in them, or that, you know, how there's that the BSL station has more sectors than the one on the bottle ship. I wonder if Adam will say something phony in the new game. I don't know if that Adam is this in the new game. Unless he's in Metroid. Unless you're talking about like Metroid 6. In which Adam now has a robot body. Since Singe Kamen Rider, I've been taking quite a liking to superhero wearing trench coats. Oh, I've always loved a superhero with a trench coat. That's why all my OCs have trench coats and stuff like that. But yeah, I also love Kamen Rider in general, so seeing the trench coat look back is also pretty cool. Kamen Rider Skull kind of had something going like that, but he doesn't quite use the trench coat the same way as Shin Ichigo. As a computer in Prime 4? Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be in Prime 4, though. Because Adam hasn't really had much of a significance in any of the Prime games. I swear trench coats make everything look cooler for some reason. Hold on, I got a bit for that. Yes, they do. They do make everything look cooler. And that's why I like them. I like them so much because they make things look way much neater. She's always had a trench coat. she's always had a trench coat. All these pictures I've been using this entire time, chat. It's always been there, chat. Hold on, I have another one. I deleted the pictures because the file size was getting too large, and I know I will take more pictures later. But yeah. My girl, I'm still writing that one episode about her. But I feel like she's talking too much, but it's a necessary sort of conversation because it's just laying out, conveying what is the status quo of the world and stuff like that. That I think is sort of necessary. I think it works different for Lizard. It just makes her more spunky, thus making her tomboyish. You mean Roja? Yes, Roja. I think fans want Emerald Dane to show up more than Adam. Mostly because he was the guy from Prime 3, you know? Speaking of trench coats, could Samus wear one while also wearing the armor? If she maybe uses a sleeveless trench coat, then yeah. Or if it's like on the power suit. My characters also yap a lot, but within reason. With my yapping, I'm just trying to either convey things about the world in our character so that they know, but in ways that play to a dynamic to move the story along, so it's not just like an exposition dialogue. And then B, just so that I can see how I can sell like the different aspects about this world before the story starts becoming more about like the actions and stuff like that. Or do you mean like armorless Samus wearing a trench coat? boxed. No, I don't think that Samosa could rock that trench coat. No. What gives you that idea? Box boss has a brain inside it. That's nuts. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why the enemies don't have it, and they don't have like any organic components inside them. Which is again the cool bits and details about how the story continuities. Spooper missile? I love the spooper missile. It's my favorite with the spooper ball. Oh. Spoopo Man. Chad, I know who that guy is. It's the G-Man, Mr. Freeman. Is that my Uncle Nintendo? Yeah, it's the Nintendo lawyer. Does he suspect the lawsuit? No good. Oh no, the Coldex. Gosh, I remember these in X Fusion. Holy shit. Good thing I'm just playing Fusion. What do you miss? Don't you say. Chihuahua game? What was that Chihuahua game? I forgot about it. What are we talking about? What game? The guy who talks who the guy who talks to Adam looks like Walter White. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I read that as Handler Walter. I guess it's just what my brain rot wanted to see. What was God Hand? I don't remember that. We'll never look at the Blue X the same way again after X Fusion. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, for sure, but I'll probably forget. Like I got 20 years of these X Parasite rules. That is why it threw me off of the other one. You had some story of fighting some gods or something? Oh, I thought that was so just. Was it like an RPG? The knock SAX scared me so hard a few days ago. This one? Well, the main thing I was getting was betting on dyed chihuahuas. Oh, that sounds hilarious. Should check it out, I guess. Metroid Fusion might have the coolest looking areas in 2D. Metroid, that forest sector looks fucking crazy. I think the dreads are also equally as cool. And I like how, you know, with modern technology they added it. I was playing it 3 to 4 years ago? Are you for real, Mewtwo? No way. Nah. I would have remembered an RPG with dyed chihuahuas. Are you doing a bit? No, this is not a bit. What are you talking about? This is a bit. It's a bit. The fact that it took you this long enough to see the bit. Thank you for buying the bit. Really appreciate it. You know, the bits don't always land. They are known for backfiring, but I always commit to the bits. What's the boss of this? The name of this boss again? Oh my goodness. What was it? Feel bamboozled. I love that Dread and Fusion have similar architecture. Yeah, same with Samus Returns and Dread as well. I was about to legit start looking back at the footage. I would have continued the bit, just so you know, if I didn't call it quits there. I would have been like, Mewtwo, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. That ain't me, man. That's Dwarfield. It's time for the boogie suit now. I love this one, though. Yeah, what was the name of this boss? Hold on. Metroid Fusion. Suit boss. Barrier Core X. Of course. How could I've forgotten? You take that back. I love the vomit suit. It's so alien and whack. The Prime version of the Fusion Varia suit looks amazing. Yeah, I know, Chad. I love it. This is not a bit. I love it. It's so out there, so whack. How come this isn't a color scheme in Smash Brothers, but some weird ass green one, you know? I mean, I know why. They need a green color. Alright. It's so silly. Like, I also saw it as, like, you know, how the suit is, healing itself, you know? It's just another layer. Alright, but this is what I'm gonna call it a stream for today. Alright. I'm getting rather hungry and stuff. And there's a part of me that also wants to be able to get back at doing the stream implementation and all that, so... Sorry if it was sort of instant. I meant to say it earlier, but I kind of forgot. I can do one more mission, but I think after this is like Sector X and Power Bombs. I can go do that if you want. I'm just getting hungry. It's just the green inside of the yellow. You mean magenta? Okay, Fusion Suit. Infusion is alright. It's when it's other games. All right, two week holidays, right? What do you mean 2 week holidays? I wish. You saw a bird outside, didn't you? Actually, yes. There was a flock of swallows outside my window, literally, as I'm saying this. Oh gosh. But yeah, I mean, now star for the fans. I'll star for the bits, for the subs and stuff like that. But if not, I like food too much, chat. I live to eat, not the other way around. So yeah, there's a swallows outside. Starvation. Okay. All right, you get me for a little minute more. I counted about 27 birds on Thursday. Holy crap, that's a lot. I love the Prime 4 looks of Samus. He almost looks kind of like Super Metroid Samus with a smaller arm cannon and slightly less bulky armor. Yeah, and I think that they kind of chose those proportions on purpose so that... Did somebody say bite? You can't say those things. Now I'm extra hungry. But yeah, I think like they are using these proportions of Samus on the Varia suit itself so that like it contrasts better when you get the Viola suit, which is like more aerodynamic, sort of like slimmer frame because it's, as it's revealed, a biker suit. In Metroid Dread, you kill infected Chosos, you kill crows, you monster. Well, at that point, not anymore. They're X-parasites, if you think about it. They're no longer a crow-raven thing, they're X-parasites. The only one that I feel bad for doing it is Ravenbeak, but I'll live. You know, if it's him or me, it's definitely gonna be him. Can't wait to ride a bike in Prime 4. Neither can I. Neither can I. It's gonna be so much fun. I hope that like there's a Tony Hawk-esque area where you can just like go and do little flips and tricks, kind of like in City Trial mode and Air Ride, you know. A regular schedule, Tombo. Thanks for the bits, Mewtwo. Samus should just become a bike. Oh my gosh, you mean like Kamen Rider Axel? Or you mean it like Kamen Rider Laser, where he like literally becomes a bike? And brother is stalling? No, I'm not stalling. You guys wanted to chat a little bit and you gave the bit, so I'm committing. Committing to the bits. And whatnot. I'm also taking the opportunity to answer some messages while I'm here. Oh my goodness. Alright. But sweet. Oh my gosh, hold on. I gotta change this one. This is gotta be the... Oh, thank you for the yay. Laser on Yoshi. Imagine coming to the screw attack with the bike. Imagine it being like a Goron roll for Majora's. That's the way I'm seeing the bike. It's sort of like an Epona or Goron roll. Thank you for the little squee. Like a bike suit where Samus, she looks like the wheel between her arms. Okay, so like Kamen Rider Axel. That would be so silly. But I would love it because it's silly. Go, don't starve. We need you for the Prime 4 videos and streams. Well, those will happen for sure. Like, I'll be honest. Part of the reason I haven't made a video is because I've also, like, struggled to just find a topic. Then I'm like, all right, this might seem like fun for me to write and edit and all this other stuff. So I'm also, like, taking the opportunity to just write that Prime lore video. But the way I wanted to tell the story is gonna take a little bit more time in writing because I'm not just, like, info copy paste from like the lore and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll go eat and do those stuff. But with all that said, thank you so much. Thank you everybody for joining. I hope you guys have fun. We're back on the regular stream schedule and all this other stuff. I'll try and see how soon I can start re-implementing the stuff that I wanted and all that, and hopefully get that video out. But with all that said, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you all, and I hope you have a great weekend. Take care, guys.